So finally I get to ride the Benelli 502, the TRK 502. It's been a long wait for me, and look at the setting, guys. This is one of my favorite places to ride, and let's go.
Like the evil of men, I'm deceiving you, leaving you dead when I flow with medieval intent. Feel no need to intervene, a step in my arena. Fuck around, get eaten, I am a hyena. Top of the food chain, I'll never relent. There's no talking me off of this ledge. I'ma die on the throne like Saddam and Assad and Gaddafi. I'm bombing these foes and I'm off with the heads till the guillotine goes on. A killing speed like the military of Philippines. The superhuman ability filling me as a real MC. I'm a milliliter, millisecond, millimeter from becoming even iller than Attila the Hun. When it will I turn into a motherfucking gorilla? Godzilla the wildebeest, ain't nobody can really be in vicinity. My enemies cower, the Yahweh, the divinity, power, devour the cowards cause y'all are mini-me's.
So in this video, I'll give you guys a quick overview of what the TRK 502 has on offer. I'll also share the differences between the 502 and the 502X, and of course I'll talk about my first ride impression of the bike. So taking a look at the 502, the design is absolutely spot on. It looks huge, almost like an 800cc middleweight champion tourer. The overall design silhouette reminds me of the Multistrada to some extent, especially the protruding front beak, the headlamp layout, the macho profile, and the neatly finished tail section. Powering the bike is a twin-cylinder 500cc liquid-cooled fuel-injected engine with a DOHC layout that puts out 47.5 PS of max power at 8,500 RPM and 45 Nm of max torque at 6,000 RPM. We get a 6-speed gearbox. Talking about the brakes, we get massive 320mm dual discs up front and a 260mm single disc at the back. We do get dual channel ABS, which is switchable, which means ABS can be switched off. Now this is a major USP for the bike. Another major inclusion are the super chunky 50mm upside down front forks that lend the bike a superb front end feel, and the rear monoshock with rebound and preload adjustability allows the bike to feel rock solid even while doing triple digit speeds. Adding on to this and serving as the sheer foundation for superb rigidity and balance is the steel tube trellis frame, which gives us tremendous confidence to thrash the bike all over the place, be it on road or off of it. The instrument console is part digital and part analog, but it is neatly laid out with legible fonts. However, inclusion of readouts like range and average fuel economy would be much more practically helpful in my opinion. Talking about the tires, the 502 gets Pirelli Angel GT tires, which are as good as they can get. Finally, for a tourer, tank capacity is absolutely crucial, so Benelli have scored really high here as well by offering us a 20-litre tank, which would result in superb tank range. Now for all of you hardcore off-roading junkies, Benelli have launched a no-holds-barred variant called the 502X. So let's take a look at the differences between the 502 and the 502X. First are the wheels. The 502X gets spoke wheels at both ends as opposed to the alloy wheels that the 502 comes with. We also get block pattern off-roading tires, Metzeler Tourans dual-purpose tires to be more specific, which would allow you to tackle more challenging terrains easily. Secondly, the 502 gets an underbelly exhaust, whereas the 502X gets an upswept exhaust that reminds me of the BMW 1200 GS exhaust. Thirdly, seat height is up by 40mm to 840mm for the 502X compared to 800mm of the 502. As a result, the ground clearance is also 220mm for the 502X as opposed to 190mm of the 502. Everything else remains almost the same for both, including the engine specs, the power, the torque, etc. Another absolutely unbelievable thing about these bikes is that they come with a 5-year unlimited kilometer warranty, which talks about the kind of confidence Benelli India have in these two mighty touring machines. Now if you stand as much impressed as I am, you can book your TRK by logging on to Benelli India's official website, and I'm leaving a link to their page in the description portion below. Now I guess it's time to check out my first ride reaction, so let's go ahead with that.
The bike feels extremely confident. Though this is the standard 502, it's not the 502X. It does give you that confidence. The only thing that I can notice almost immediately is that the bulgy tank that tries to come in your way, because the foot pegs are ideally positioned, not for finding fault with them, but the bulky tank doesn't allow you to stand up tall and grip the tank. So I would prefer a slim profile tank that would give you more space to grip the tank. easily with your thighs. Like the first impression, the seat is extremely comfortable. The handlebar is ideally positioned such that you can stand up and ride comfortably, or you can cruise all day long. The saddle is one of the most comfortable saddles I've sat on to date. The engine is very refined, and for off-road, a little bit of off-roading, this bike can handle. So for a little hardcore off-roading or extreme off-roading, I think we have the 502X with spoke wheels and larger tires. So guys, I guess it's time for my quick fire acceleration test. Yeah, no side stand. Let's get going. So better to slow down. You don't know what's wrong. Okay, the vehicle is stalled. So what do I feel about the Benelli TRK 502? First of all, I've done a bit of off-roading testing on this one. I feel it is really good off-road, despite this being the toned down version. It's not the 502X, but still it can handle a bit of off-roading with great confidence. We have beefy forks up front. The handlebar is perfectly set such that you can stand up tall and ride. The saddle is the best that I have experienced so far in this segment. You do get a USB port here for charging. The switches are all well laid out. You get a high beam flasher, you get an engine kill switch. You also get a hazard light switch, which is extremely useful for those who tour a lot. And you do get a voluminous tank. I would have already talked about the tank capacity. The ground clearance is ample enough to do a bit of off-roading. The clutch feel is not too hard. It is slightly on the heavier side, but I think you can manage with that. The brakes are good. Yes, I've done the braking test, and you'll get to see the result through the course of this video. Okay guys, now it's time for my trademark standard braking test. Take the bike up to 60 kilometers per hour. Oh, yeah, that was a little panic braking kind of a scenario, but I think the bike fared well. And another thing is the build quality feels rock solid. The windscreen doesn't flutter even at high speeds of I've done close to 156 kilometers per hour. And the rear view mirrors are good, but I would have preferred larger rear view mirrors, because when you're touring, the better vision you have, the more you can see, the better it is. So a larger rear view mirror would be helpful in my opinion. Apart from that, yes, there were instances of me hitting false neutrals, so I think that can be sorted out by the technical department. Center of gravity is well sorted out. The handling is great, and the tires are good. We get Pirelli rubber, doesn't get better than that. So there's not much of compromise being made by Benelli in any area. You also get switchable ABS, which is fantastic for all those off-road junkies. I'm sure they'll love to thrash this bike around with turning off the ABS. The acceleration is great, the refinement is great. There's no hint of vibration even at around 156, or I believe it's going to stay stable and planted up to 160 plus also. And another good thing that I can say about the motorcycle is the heat management. I was a little worried. Mind you, this is a hot midsummer afternoon, testing this bike right underneath the hot sun at around 1:32 p.m. which is not the ideal time to be out, but these are real testing conditions, and the bike is getting heated up, but you don't feel the heat. I'm wearing riding boots, ankle length boots. I can feel a wee bit of heat, but it's managed well. The temperature out here is soaring, so good job Benelli in terms of heat management as well. Talking about the suspension, we get chunky 50 mm front forks, inverted front forks, upside down forks, and they offer a superb front end feel. You don't feel a thing. It's like you're riding you're driving in an SUV. The potholes, they just disappear one after the other. You don't feel a thing. Speed breakers, you don't need to slow down, you just glide over them. So that's how good these front USD forks are. And apart from that, the rear shock along with the swing arm supports the chassis really well at higher speeds for superb straight line stability. And overall, an ideal touring machine has been born now at a very affordable price. So I won't be surprised if the masses, you know, welcome this with open arms, because this is the need of the hour. More and more people are becoming a part of the biking culture, which is spreading at a rapid pace. So people are looking at motorcycles as a form of getaway dimension, as a form of therapy that will allow them to escape from the mundane or escape from the urban jungle and get lost in nature. And this is the ideal machine which will help you achieve that almost every weekend. So it's very well equipped, very well built. The build quality is rock solid. The bike is built like a tank, and you can see it reacts really well like a sport bike. Almost gives you the feel of the TNT 300. The state of tune is almost similar, but here you get more power, more engine capacity, so double the amount of fun and energy and riding pleasure. The TRK 502 is like a champion machine, a champion touring machine made accessible to the masses at a very affordable price. It gives you the look of a multi-strada. So the bike offers tremendous road presence. It makes you feel that you're riding a more expensive bike, a bigger, higher capacity bike, maybe a middleweight bike, around 800cc, 850cc bike. That's the kind of feel this bike gives you. Apart from this, the fuel efficiency seems to be really miraculously good and unbelievable, because I've been riding it since morning, and the tank I mean, it shows full tank. It hasn't even budged an inch. Not even a single point has been lost. So it is really good, really impressive in terms of fuel economy. Now I haven't recorded the exact fuel economy, but I feel this is a good bike when it comes to delivering more than what you can expect. So good fuel economy is what I've noticed. It is a tricky terrain, lot of gravel. So the fuel economy is really good, and that is a very good part about this bike. So now let's take it through some challenging terrains.
Like the evil of men, I'm deceiving you, leaving you dead when I flow with medieval intent. Feel no need to intervene, a step in my arena. Fuck around, get eaten, I am a hyena. Top of the food chain, I'll never relent. There's no talking me off of this ledge. I'ma die on the throne like Saddam and Assad and Gaddafi. I'm bombing these foes and I'm off with the heads till the guillotine goes on. A killing speed like the military of Philippines. The superhuman ability filling me as a real MC. I'm a milliliter, millisecond, millimeter from becoming even iller than Attila the Hun. When it will I turn into a motherfucking gorilla? Godzilla the wildebeest, ain't nobody can really be in vicinity. My enemies cower, the Yahweh, the divinity, power, devour the cowards cause yelling me.
So I guess this is where it ends. A good, tiring day, but a day where I enjoyed thoroughly with this machine, putting it to test on all fronts, and it came out shining through in every department almost. So be it the build quality, the design, the equipment, the engine refinement, the power delivery, the acceleration, it's all there. There's hardly anything you can complain about. Yes, maybe they can give a slim profile tank to give you a little more confidence and slot your knees in while you're standing up and riding, and maybe the false neutral thing can be sorted out easily. That's pretty much it. I just hope you enjoyed watching this video. Until next time, this is Dino saying ciao, take care, God bless, and ride safe.
Like the evil of men, I'm deceiving you, leaving you dead when I flow with medieval intent. Feel no need to intervene, a step in my arena. Fuck around, get eaten, I am a hyena. Top of the food chain, I'll never relent. There's no talking me off of this ledge. I'ma die on the throne like Saddam and Assad and Gaddafi. I'm bombing these foes and I'm off with the